This training was actually my very first yoga teacher training that I have been taking part as a teacher, and it was a very interesting experience. I have really enjoyed not only sharing my own tools as a life coach and as a yoga teacher, but also really enjoyed this group, the group dynamic, and how they were very curious and they were very open for discussions, asking lots of questions. So it was very interactive. And I also realized that's my probably favorable way of teaching, as I like to have more practical, hands-on style of teaching rather than giving lectures and talking about a particular topic for long periods of time. So I really enjoyed this month together with them. I'm actually feeling a little bit emotional about saying goodbye to them tomorrow. But I'm confident that all of them actually are ready to go out there and start teaching. They're quite mature, not only as people and in the teaching that they have showed us, but they seem to have gained quite a bit of confidence during this month, which is really what this training is about. It's about giving them courage to teach, as we call this teacher training, and giving them different tools, giving them ways that is to approach a wider audience, really, to be able to teach different people with different capacities, different ages. Could be a beginner, could be someone who's older, younger, never done yoga before, or different styles. And it can be a dynamic style, it can be a soft style. And so I think that we've really seen how their characters, their personality has been shining through during this month. And it's really been a rewarding process to watch these beautiful human beings come to bloom. So yeah, very grateful for this month. And it's been quite inspiring to work with Damien as well, since he's a seasoned yogi and has a lot of more academic background in yoga, I would say. So I'm also been observing him and learning a lot from him, because he's got much more experience in presenting and giving lectures as such. So yeah, I think we complement each other well. And I'm quite looking forward to next year to do our next training. So yeah, onwards and forwards and expanding, growing and learning. It's a continuous journey to take nuggets from and see how to develop and where it goes from here. This was a test ride for me, and now I know a little bit better what really works for me in terms of teaching and how I want to teach and how I present different topics. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
What's the course about?
So the course was
just pretend that the course is like you can use this for.
So the course is really about so first of all, we made sure to take yogis who have already got experience in practicing yoga for minimum 2 years. So that have the curiosity and willingness to share their practice with others. So the course was about giving them courage to teach and giving them tools in order to get that courage. So one of my tools that I shared was about life coaching, where I gave them some tools for self-inquiry, because I think that's super important as a yoga teacher to know who you are. And therefrom, you can use the same tools and apply them in teaching. For example, how you listen to your students, how you are being very non-judgmental and there to support open questioning, and giving them other tools like ethics. And we also shared some tools about business of yoga. Obviously the traditional subjects like philosophy and anatomy, which is Damien's department, and adjustments. So yeah, we covered Kriya Yoga, we covered meditation, chanting, and we covered Vini Yoga, Vinyasa Krama Yoga, and Ashtanga basics and modified, and some restorative. So that was some of the curriculum that we had. So all the students do practice Ashtanga, and that was also part of the requirement. So we had students that been practicing for a longer period, some for shorter period. So yeah, but we have not really focused that much on how to teach Ashtanga per se, but rather that the practice itself was Ashtanga, because we believe that the Ashtanga base in how it's set up, the sequencing and the 5 breaths in each pose can be a good platform, a good base to how you then create your own sequencing and your own yoga style, really.
Okay,
so the training was set up so that we had different modules of different styles of yoga. We touched upon Vinyasa Krama Yoga, we touched upon basics of Ashtanga and some restorative. We also included Kriyas, Pranayama, chanting, philosophy, anatomy. But as an add-on, that I think is the unique thing of this particular training, is life coaching tools, both for themselves as much as how they can bring these tools into the yoga class and how they apply it to their yoga students. I feel actually very energized because I was very nervous about this training. I was feeling like I have not been very good at stepping forward to give workshops and talk in front of a lot of people. Like, I like more hands-on learning. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself to prepare for this teacher training, and got quite anxious towards leading up to it. But having done it now, I feel so much better and inspired, and really feeling like, okay, I can do this.
Next time, or?
I would definitely revise the material and maybe see a little bit, because my fear was that I wasn't going to have enough material to teach in that time, but then it turned out that I had way too much material. So I will narrow it down and take, I think, the main points out to really kind of restructure, and also knowing what works better and what doesn't, because it's learning as we go, really. So yeah. Definitely we'll tighten it up and make it even better next time. I'm sure that it will probably take different forms and shapes as we go along, because I would imagine my own interest and values might shift and shape, and as I keep learning, as I go in my own practice, and as I tend to go to India to study, I'm always learning new things. So I'm sure I would want to apply some of that in the future. Who knows?